Nacon Education Foundation presents 7 weeks free data analytic training. In these 7 weeks, you're going to learn Excel, MySQL, and Power BI. Also, you'll be getting a certificate of completion by the end of this course. Join us on this journey of becoming a certified data analyst.
Once again, I welcome everybody to today's training, week 4, day 7. All right, I hope you have your laptop beside you and your notepad. So let's begin the training. Last week training, I gave you an assignment on Wednesday. And I've gone through the assignment. At least 90% of the assignment that was sent to me, I've gone through the assignments. And I noticed two things. And the first thing, I noticed two things. Number one, the forecast. I noticed that, let me say, 70% of people didn't do it well. And also the sum if, can't if. I noticed that, in fact, I will even say 97% of the assignment I've seen so far, I think everybody missed it, except a lady. I won't mention her name, except a lady. Now, I don't know, maybe when I did the forecast, I don't know, maybe he didn't get it, or I don't know what really happened, because when I was checking the assignments, I was just saying error instead of value, error. And the one that I saw again, the one I looked again, I saw 436, 437 based on your prediction, and it's not even correct. So I don't know what actually went wrong. I don't know what happened. Well, I will quickly, because of our time, because we have a whole lot to do today, and today's class, I'm going to rush to this class because I'm trusting God that I'm trusting God that we'll finish the Excel this week, today and tomorrow. I trust God, so I'm going to rush. So please, you will pardon me today. I'm going to rush today, so you pardon me today. Now let me quickly do this and show you guys. Now, I said, if you want to forecast, you call out your function, and this is a function here, forecast, and then it's asking us the target date. This is our target date. This is passed for our target date. Then you put your comma. Then it's asking us values. And what will be your value? Of course, column B will definitely be our value. Then you copy down. And then you put another comma. Then your timeline. What will be your timeline? Of course, your column A will be your timeline. Then you come to your timeline, and we also copy down. Then you close your brackets and you hit your enter. This is 703.222 based on the prediction in 2050. So I don't know where some people are getting 437, 436. Some people did not even do it. It shows that maybe some of you did not understand it, or you didn't watch the video, because I practiced this last week. So I don't want us to waste time here. Let's move to the last one. This one. Yeah, last week I took my time to explain this particular aspect of Microsoft Excel. This some ifs, can't if, average if, and average ifs. Now, this is my own solution anyway. And I noticed that many people, oh God, in fact, I would say 99 or 98% of people missed it. 98%, except a lady. Now, what is the problem? I tried to look at it very well. And I noticed that there is this one problem that people did not take note of. And what is it? People did not lock this particular cell, this particular column. You didn't lock it. That was the problem. You didn't lock it. You didn't lock it. You didn't lock it. And I already told you that if you are referencing a particular column, there is a need to lock. But it's a pity that everybody just went ahead to just select and then do it like you. Excel will not give you the right thing. There is a need to lock, but you didn't lock it. Now, if you look at my own here, can you see my locking? I locked. I locked this particular column. When I selected this table, I locked it. I locked it. But if you are sincere with yourself, with the assignment you submitted to us, you will know that you didn't do a justice to this. You didn't lock it. Hence, you are getting wrong answer. So that's the problem. That's the problem. You people did not lock a particular table. When you pick this, when you pick when you picked your department, your status, and your salary, you are expected to lock. Why? Because you are looking from this table to populate this table. Since you are looking from this table to populate this table, there is a need for you to lock, but you didn't lock. You didn't lock. So please, what I want you to do is that you are going to do it as an assignment. Don't submit it to me. Just practice it and don't submit, please. Just practice it and do it. So what you just need to do is that you will just need to lock this particular cell, particular column when you are picking. For instance, let me try to delete this. Let me try to delete this. I said, let's say you want to call out, you call out sum if. This is your sum if. And then the range. The range will be what? The tech department. This is our tech department now. And then you select. And the next thing you are going to do is that you are going to lock it by F4. Then your bracket. Then you pick your criteria, tech. After picking tech, you put your comma. The sum range. The sum range will be your salary. As you are picking the salary, you lock as well. So if you don't lock, you will not get it. Do you understand? Okay, now another thing is this. If you don't want to lock, let me show you one thing you can also. Yeah, another. So you can just select. Now come to this place, this name box. Can you see name box? Click it, erase the A2, and then give this column name. Maybe you can give it. This is a department, right? You can give it department, and then click your enter. Are you there? Come to your status. Erase the hit your enter, and then come to salary. Come to salary. Come down here again. Erase here and put salary, and then enter. Now, let's say I want to populate some if. I'll call out some if, and then my range. What is my range? The department. I will select. You will see what is going to happen now. I won't lock now. This time I won't lock. Can you see? Department. I will just put my comma. Then my criteria. Tech. I'll put my comma. Then my sum range. I'll come to my sum range. I will select again. I'll select from here to here. And then I will close my bracket. Now we hit my enter. Can you see now? So that means if I want to populate the rest, I won't need to lock again. I will just use that method and then I will populate the rest. Do you understand? I will just use that method and I'm going to populate the rest. So if you don't want to lock, if you don't want to use F4 to lock, just name the column. Just name the column, give it a name, and then when you are selecting, the name will pop out. That's another way to go about it. So ensure that you do it after the class, practice it again, do it again. Don't submit to me. Just be sincere with yourself. Just do it, and just practice it. Do you understand? And if you don't do it, no problem. But I will just say that it is good if you can just lay your hands on it again and do it. That's how to learn. Okay. Now, thank you. I think I've done two solutions to the assignments I gave to you last week. So now let's move to today's material, today's class. Now, I last week I said we are going to look at another forecasting. Now, last week, what we did last week was this. I said last week, I said the forecast we looked at last week, this we have 2030, and this one we only forecast for a year. In other words, now I just picked 2030. I did not put 2023, 2024, 2025. I only picked just a year, 2030. Now, 2030. Now, if you look at this particular material, this particular data, you will see that it's different from this one. If you look at it very well, you see that this one, our forecast this time is going to be on each day. This 18, 19, 20, 2021 downward. Now, that's the forecast we want to look at. And also, based on the structure of this data, it is also possible for us to have like 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027. You can also have it like that. Are you getting me now? If you want to have it like that, it's still this particular tool we are going to use to do our forecast, to predict our fruits, the price of our fruit juice. So now, let me quickly, I said I will be fast today. So let me quickly read this definition. Lower confidence band is a number whose value is determined by the data. This is the data, right? This particular data. We have the date, and we also have the fruit juice. Particularly, this will determine, right? Because we want to forecast the price. Now, it's saying is a number whose value is determined by the data, which is less than a certain parameter with a given degree of confidence. You will see this confidence while applying the function. Upper confidence interval. It is used in online decision making. And then confidence interval. This is a range of values you expect your estimate to fall between if you are to do your test within a certain level of confidence. Again, this is a range of values, that is the result you are expecting. You expect your estimate to fall between if you are to do your test within a certain level of confidence. You will get it when I carry out the task. Now, the first thing we are going to do is that I'm going to select my table. I'm going to select my table. That's the first thing to do. We're going to select, then we'll come to our forecast. When we come to our forecast, I think it should be data coming. Then we come to our forecast. This our forecast is under data. So you click your forecast. Now see what happened here. Now, this is the data, our timeline. This is our timeline. And then this one will be the result of our forecast. This one, the 3. Yes, the 3. The 3. Now, the lower confidence band and the upper confidence band and the forecast. So the lower confidence band And the what we'll be looking out for is this forecast. So lower confidence band or upper confidence band, you might just not bother yourself on them. Rather, let's focus on the forecast. That means you are focusing on this particular portion. Now, look at it. It's saying that forecast end. Now, forecast end when? 1 2021 23 2023. And here you are seeing forecast end 1 22 2023. That means here you are going to set it. You are going to click here and pick your 23 to correct it. Now, the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to come to our options, and then it's saying that forecast starts. Our forecast should start on the 18th, not 17th. So I will come down here again, then I will correct it here. I'll put my 18. Now, you remember the confidence we saw the other time, confidence interval. This is automatically this one, but Excel will automatically put this there. Confidence interval, confidence interval, based on what we are going to see after applying the particular tool or function. And also, you can also set it, you can also put it to 100% based on what you want to do, based on you anyway. Now, I will leave it here 95%, and then I will try to shift it a bit so that you can see what I'm doing. And then the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to hit my grade. Now, look at this one. I'm going to cut this particular chart. So I'm going to paste it on another sheet. So to cut, I use my control. I'll first click and then use my control X to cut. So just forget about that one for now. Now let's look at our forecast. Now, remember what I told you. I said, let your attention be on the forecast itself. Now, let's see what happened here. Now, after carrying out our forecast on the price of fruit juice in the second day, that is on the second day, which is 17th, 2023. Now, we go, oh, sorry, on the 18th, sorry. The forecast starts from 18th. Now, on the 18th, we got 1,523. On the 19th, we got 1,603. On the 20th, we got 1,683. Then on the 21st, 1,763, like that. So you have seen that via my tool, I've been able to have insight to the price I should expect on the second day on my fruit juice, on the third day, fourth day, like that, fifth day, sixth, seventh. Now you will see that forecast actually, the forecast, it depends on the forecast. Now what I'm trying to say is that our forecast, what we forecast here, it depend on this. Forecast depend on the price. That is, Excel looked at the trend of the fruit juice price, and then it gave us the prediction that on the 18th, this is what to expect. On the 19th, this is what to expect. On the 20th, this is what to expect. 21, 22, and 23. So whenever you want to forecast, what you must look out for is your timeline and the values you want to forecast on. That is this particular value. So Excel looked at this. Excel depend on this. It depend on this. And then again, Excel looked at the price of the fruit juice and then the date. The price of the fruit juice and then the date. Now, from this, we're able to see what happened here. The prediction. Now look at the lower confidence band. So on this lower confidence band, that means that on lower confidence band, based on what Excel generated back to us, it means that the price might fall to Naira 98. The fruit juice price might fall to Naira 98. it might also fall to 1,704, 1,074, 1,149. Do you understand now? Now, what we are saying now is that the price might fall to this. That means if you look at the data here, the price here, it is lower to this one. So that means that the prediction might also be in this line. That is, you might not eventually get this higher amount, you might get a little lower based on lower confidence band, based on this scenario. Now, on the upper confidence scenario, he said it can also be 1,006, 2,000, 2,132, 2,216. And if you look at this upper confidence band, you will see that if you look at this upper confidence band, if you look at the figure, is more than this and also more than this. Are you hearing? Are you getting me now? But I will just advise us that we should just stick with this forecast alone. That is the prediction. We can just stick with this and just leave this. Are you getting me now? You can just stick with this. So maybe people that if you are told to carry out this particular task, and though when you carry it out, Excel will generate this, it will generate this. Then the owner of the data can then make a conclude decision, reach a conclude decisions on what you have generated. So whether I want to use it based on lower confidence band, whether I want to use it based on upper confidence band, that is left to you. Are you getting me now? So don't disturb your head too much on it. Now, you remember I cut a particular chart. Now let me quickly open a new sheet and let me paste that chart here, Control V. And then I will try to expand this chart. I'll try to expand this chart and I will try to do a little formatting here. I'm going to remove the grid line and then I'm going to leave the legend. I will put my data label. That's all. This is the only thing I want to do here. Remember, you can also put a title here. If I will put a title here, I will just say not here. I will just come here and just say chart title. I will just click here and I'll put my chart title. Now you will see here what I've already interpreted this. Now this is the chart base. This one is based on the table. The person might say, okay, I just want to see the table alone. Thank you. I've seen what I want to see. He might also say, okay, I want to see the chart as well. This is the chart. So now you can see now that these are forecast here. Very bold. 1,005, 1,603, like that. And we can also see the year. And here we can see the upper confidence band. And then we can, based on the upper confidence band scenario, and we can also see the lower confidence band scenario. So if you look at this place, this particular thing is a filter button. It means you can filter this chart. And not only that, you can also format your data. This sign is for formatting. That is, you want to carry out more format. Probably you want to paint, you want to color this chart, you just want to design this chart, then you can go for this particular chart style. You want to just format it and just come to this and then just pick anyone you want to pick from here. So now look at it here, our fruit juice. That is the fruit juice, the recent days, and then the forecast, yellow color, lower confidence band, and then upper confidence band. So I think we can move to the next thing for today. Now let's move to VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Please just pardon me today. I'll be a bit fast. VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Now if you look at VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, let me first explain VLOOKUP. Now when you hear VLOOKUP, the meaning of VLOOKUP means vertical lookup. And what's the meaning of vertical lookup? Well, what you are saying is that when you say vertical lookup, it means that you want to look up a particular table and you want to return what is inside that table into this table. Then we want to look at a vertical table. We want to look at a vertical table to return the information inside that vertical table into this table. In other words, this table will look from a particular table called vertical, a vertical table. So that's why that's why it is called VLOOKUP. We want to look at a particular table to return what is inside that table into these remarks and the grade. In other words, we want to return the remarks. We also want to return the grade for each student. Where is the table? Of course, this is the table. This is a vertical table. Vertical table. So we want to look onto this table to populate this particular table. So if you look at this table, you see that there is grade, there is also remark. And if you look at this table, you see that there is remark, there is also grade. No, now let's see how to use, let's how we can make use of the formula. You write your equals to VLOOKUP. Now, what is our lookup value? Our lookup value, remember I told you that in Excel, the first number is always a big deal. Now, lookup value, this will be your lookup value, the first value here. Now you put your comma. Now, it's asking us table array. What's our table array? Of course, the table array is going to be our lookup table. So I'm going to come to my table array here. This is my table array. I'm going to reference this particular table. So now I've referenced this table. I'm going to put my comma here. Now, actually, when I selected this table, I had to lock it. You know, I'm referencing another sheet now, a table on a particular sheet. So I ought to lock it. But remember how I taught you when I was doing the solution, the assignment I did the other time, the solution. I said, if you don't want to lock, you can name. Now, what I did last week or when I was working on this material was that I named my column. So instead of me to lock, I named my column. So eventually the name of my table now is details. So I didn't bother to lock. I name it. So you can also name your since you know that there is a table array inside the function when we open it. So it means that I will need to select and lock. But because I don't want to lock, that I can name it. So I name all this table like this. I selected them and I named them. Now it's asking me column index number. What is my column index number? Well, column index number means where the header falls to. Remember, we want to return the remark. And if you can't, 1, 2, 3. So this will be my column index number. Then I will put my 3 here. I'll put my comma. Now, it's asking me again, true approximate match or exact match. Now, what's the meaning of true approximate match? If you look at it here, it's saying that range lookup. Range lookup. What's the meaning? Now, let me quickly say it this way. When you hear approximate match, approximate means that something that is not the same, but a bit closer. Not the same, but not exact that number, but a bit closer. And if you look at this score and the score on this particular table, they are not the same. They are just approximate, just close, not the same. Then I'm going to select my approximate match. I'm going to close my bracket and I will hit my enter F. Now let me quickly explain that approximate again because I couldn't show you this table then because I don't want Excel to give me error. Now look at this. If you look at this scores 30, 99, 96, are you getting this lookup array, this lookup value? And if you also look at this, if you also look at the score here, because it is this one, this lookup value that will determine whether we are to use approximate or exact. Are you hearing me now? So now, and if you look at this particular lookup value, this particular column or range, and if you look at this particular table, you will notice that they are not the same. They are just, it is this this particular column and this particular column, the figures they are not the same, they are just a bit closer, not exact. Therefore, we are going to make use of approximate match. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to autofill. That's it now. Now, I'm going to go to my grade now. Is equal, I want to return the grade of each student. I will put my VLOOKUP again. VLOOKUP is asking the lookup value. These are lookup value, right? Select. Is asking table array. What's your table array? These are table array. You come to array again. You select the table array, and then don't forget I said I've already named this table. So I'll put my comma, column index number. What's our column index number? You remember I want to return the grade this time. Then if you count it, 1, 2, grade falls here, 2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 2. I'm going to put my comma, then approximate. I'm going to select my approximate match. I'm going to close my bracket. I'm going to hit my enter. Then it will return back to us fill. Then I'm going to autofill to populate the rest. Now, when you want to look at HLOOKUP, you say equals to HLOOKUP. Come to your HLOOKUP. Now, let's look at let me just relax a bit. Let me relax a bit. Now, if you look at this lookup table, now you will see that this is our HLOOKUP. This is our table for the HLOOKUP. Now, if you look at this table, you will see that there is difference between this table and this table. This one is a vertical table, and this one is horizontal table. Hence, it is called horizontal lookup. Horizontal lookup. Now, let's come back to our lookup again. Now, I want to return the grade for each student. I want to return them here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call out the formula. I'm going to call out the function is equal to HLOOKUP. Then my lookup value is going to be this. I'm going to put my comma, table array. What is going to be my table array? Remember our table array now. That will be the horizontal table. Now, this time we are not dealing with VLOOKUP. This time we are dealing with HLOOKUP. So I'll come down to my lookup table that I'm going to select my table. Now, remember, I said instead of you to lock, you can name it. So because of my naming, I already got the name of my table. And I'll put my comma here. He's asking me row index number. And don't forget what we want to return. I think we want to return the, is it not the remark or the grade? Oh God. And if I go here, we are going to make a mistake. Grade, right? Thank you very much. So we want to return the grade. So, and if you count the grade, 1 and then 2. Remember, don't forget we are dealing with row this time. And remember our first class, during the introductory class, I told you that your row is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get that now. Good. Now I want to return the grade, and this is our grade here. Right, this is our row here. Our it's not row 12. I'm not talking about you. Not that I've said you should select row 12. Just need to explain. So this is our row. This portion is our row. Now I want to return the grade. So if you count it from here, 1 and then 2. So our grade is number 2. So I'm going to put my 2 here. I'm going to put my comma. And then it's asking us approximate match. This time it's not going to be approximate match. Oh, sorry, it's asking us approximate match. Exactly approximate match. You close your bracket, then you hit your enter. Then you come down here again and you populate the rest. And then you get your answer. So good. Now let's move to another material. Let's move to index and exact match. Now, index and exact match. This when you say index and exact match, now this is what we are saying. We are saying that we want to use index match, and we want to use index match a particular function in Excel to return the product and the cost. If you look at this short table, this H and J, you see that this is a product and this is a product, right? And this is a cost. That is, what is the header here? The header here, this, we have the two headers here. And then now, when we now say index match, what we want to do is that we want to use index match function to return the product of this salesperson. We want to return the product of this salesperson. We also want to return the cost of this salesperson. So we want to make use of index match function to return them. And also, you will see exact match. Exact match will simply means that give me the exact thing that this person bought. Give me the exact figure on the table. Exact, not approximate this time. Exact. So, and also when you say data validation, I've taught you data validation. So now, data validation, yeah, what we want to do is that we are going to use data validation. You know this. Now, this salesperson, if you look at this table, well, we have two columns, products, column A and column B. There's no column C. There's no column C here, and we need the lookup value. That is what we are going to look up. The number we are the big D. You know, I told you like the first number is always big D in Excel. Now, here there is no first number here. Do you understand? And we want to return this salesperson information, their product and the cost. So where can we find the salesperson? Of course, we can find the salesperson here. This is the salesperson here. We can find the salesperson here. So that means what I want us to do is that we come back here. So we are going to do something. Now, instead of us to be coming down here, picking John Akan, putting John Akan here, and then after applying our formula, we clean John Akan, we come back here again to pick Mike Idris, we come again. It will waste our time. We can't do it that way. So now what are we going to do? Well, we are going to use data validation. So it means that we are going to use drop-down list in data validation. We are going to validate this particular cell. Then after validating this particular cell, and then we are going to populate, we are going to return their products, the product each bought, and the cost of each product. So how am I going to do this? So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to select this cell, making it active. I've already made it active. So I'm going to come to my data validation. After coming to my data validation, I'm going to click my list. And then from my list, I'm going to come to my source. Where is the source of my data? This source of my data. I'm going to copy down. I'll copy down to here, and then I will hit my enter. Then, okay. Now, automatically, I've already used drop down list to populate it. So I won't need to come down to this table to come and be picking each person after the other, cleaning it. No, I won't need to do that again. Rather, I will just click John Akan, which is going to be my lookup value. That is that number will normalize as big D in Excel. So I'll come down to my product. I'm going to write the formula is equal to index. Now look at it now. I call out the formula. I just called out the formula. It's asking me array. What's the meaning of array? Well, when you hear array, when you are using index match function and you hear array, what's the meaning of array? Array simply means the column you want to return. Array means a column you want to return. Array means a column you want to return. So here, what are we return? We want to return the product. Which product? The product that John Akan bought. So I'm going to come to my product here. I'm going to come to my array that I'm going to return. I'm going to select my array. I'm going to copy that, which is a product. I want to return the product. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to select my products. Now, enter. Sorry. Comma. Oh, sorry, made a mistake. Let me copy it again. My array. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to select my array. Good. And then I'll put my comma here. Now, next I'm going to do is I'm going to put my match. Now, lookup value. Remember the lookup value now. Now, the lookup value. What will be our lookup value? Of course, John Akan will be the lookup value. And I'll put my comma again. Now, it's asking me lookup array. Whenever you hear lookup array just means that where can you see John? Which column can we find John? Which column can we find John? Or which range can we find John? Of course, you can't find John here. John is not here. Rather, John is here. John is not here, neither here. So that means I'm going to come down here, our reference. This is where we can find John. Let me just copy down, and then I'm going to copy down again, and I'm going to put my comma. So it's asking me, yeah, you see that there's also like approximate here. It's asking me legs down, exact match greater than. Now I'm going to use exact match. Why? Because I want Excel to return back the exact thing that that guy bought. So this time I'm going to hit my exact. Now because I'm using index match, I'm going to close my bracket twice. Because I'm using index match, I will hit my enter. Now if you look at John Akan, what did he buy? He bought a car. Now if you drop down, if you click Mike Idris, Mike Idris bought a bicycle. If you go to your reference, you will see that the guy name is Mike Idris. If you click here again, same thing, Tolu Fagbewa. If you click it, it will give you pen. Are you getting me now? That's number 5. He bought this. Now let's come down again. Let me come down to my to John Ekan again. Now, the next thing I want to do is that I want to use index match to return the cost. The cost, that is this cost. I want to return it. I want to return them here. I want to return the cost here. I want to put it here. So what will I do again? I'm going to use my formula is equal to index. So it's asking me array. Array means what you want to return. What are we returning? We want to return the cost. Then you come to the cost and you pick it, and then put your comma, then you write your match. Now, next thing, lookup value. What's going to be our lookup value? Of course, Johnny Can is going to be our lookup value. You put Johnny Can, you put your comma. There's asking us lookup array. Where can we see he can? Where can we see Johnny Can? Of course, this particular sheet. So I'll come down again. I'm going to select it again. I'm going to select it again, and I will put my comma here, and then lastly I'm going to put my exact match. I'm going to close my bracket, close my bracket again, then I will hit enter. What did he buy? He bought a car, cost 5,000. Now if you want to check another person's information, let's say Emmanuel. What did he buy? Emmanuel bought fan. How much? Can you see the amount? Good. Now the next thing I want us to see is this. Now I've been able to use index match to return the product of each sales person. Product of each sales person. Now, I think we can leave this one now and move to another teaching material because I want us to spend. Hey, who is that? So because I want us to spend the remaining 1 hour on pivot table. Now let's move to index match here. Now, if you look at this index match, just exact of what we did the other time. The next thing we want to do is here is that the first thing we are going to do is that we are going to return the salesperson here. We want to return the salesperson here. So what we are going to use is that we are going to use our data validation to do that. We come to our data validation. It's asking us the list, and then the source salesperson. This is salesperson. I'm going to copy down. I'm going to hit my enter. Then okay. So now John Iberi is the first person on the list. What am I returning? I'm returning my products. This is another material similar to what we did the other time, but this time we are not referencing. We are just on a particular sheet, just one single sheet. So I did this so that you can understand how index match, how it works. Now is equal to you write your index. You write your index, your array. What will be your array? What you want to return? Product. I want to return my product, comma, and then you put your match, you hit your match. Lookup value. What will be our lookup value? This guy, comma. Lookup array. What's going to be lookup? Our lookup array is where you find that guy. Here. Your comma. What do we want? We want the exact match. So I will click my exact match. Then I will close and close. Hit my enter. Join variable car. Now I want to return the cost. Say it again. It's equal to index. You click again. The same route. Array. What will be our array? Array is the cost we want to return. This is the cost. Your comma. You write your match. And it's asking us the lookup value. This guy will be the lookup value. You put your comma, the lookup array. The lookup array will be this one. Will be this one. I have one. I want to use one now for pivot table. This one, and then you put your comma, and then it's asking us exact. I will hit it twice. Then close my bracket, hit my enter. Cost 5,000. Now the country, let's say the country it belongs to, going to is equal to index array again. What's your array? What you want to return? The country. You put your comma, then your match. You put your match, lookup value, John Ebere. Put your comma, lookup array. Where can we find this guy? You can see the guy here. You put your comma again, then your exact match. You close your brackets, you close your bracket, you hit your enter. Ghana, the guy is from Ghana. Let's how we can return his age is equal to index again. So the next thing is your array. The array is what we want to return. We are returning the age. Put your comma. You put your comma. It's asking us to run match. You hit your match. And then lookup value. What's our lookup value? Our lookup value is John Ebere. You put your comma. Then lookup array. Where can we find this guy? We can see this guy. You can find him here. You put your comma. Then your exact match. You close your brackets. You close your bracket. Then you hit your enter. The guy is 45 years old. So via my drop down list, I can start seeing each person's name. This guy as well, I can start seeing Dotun, each person information as I'm pressing it to be populating itself automatically. So this is how we can use index match. So in case you see in case you have an interview in Excel and you were told to use index match to return a particular information into a particular table, you don't need to cram anything. Just understand the when you just understand just understand the syntax. That is, when it's opened, the statement, those words that exist, those words you are seeing, just understand those words and then use them that way. Do you understand now? What I'm just trying to say is that don't cram. Whenever you open the function, when you open the bracket, then just follow the syntax, the words that Excel is popping out. Just follow them, you will get the answer. So you don't need to cram, you don't need to do those kind of things. And also now, the other thing I want to say here is this. Now, there's something I want us to do now. I've seen a particular task whereby you two functions were used together. Two functions were used together, like if error and then index match. Let's say you have a particular column, there is an error inside that column, and you want to remove that error, you want to replace that error, and at the same time, you are also making use of index match. You're also making use of your index match. So you're also making use of the function, the index match function. So you are using two functions together. You are using index match, and you're also using if error. Now, I don't have that material here, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to quickly come down here. I'm going to open this material now, and then we are going to see. Now, let me quickly. Mm, okay, no, this one. If error. Okay, now look at this particular column. I have product and I have cost. I have error here. Now I want to use index match to return the information that belongs to this person. At the same time, I don't want to see this particular error. What do I do? The first I'm going to do is that I'm going to first validate this particular sheet. So I'll come to my data. I will come to my data validation. It's my data validation. I will come down here. I will come down to list. I will select my list. I'll come down here. I'm going to select this salesperson, going to hit my enter, going to press my OK, and then I put John here. And I'm going to write my formula is equal to index. Now, array, what's going to be array? The product we want to return. No, before you write your index, you first write your formula. What is that formula? If error. That is, what if I see error, what do I do? What should I do? So if error, then you write your index as well. So I've applied two function, if error and index. The array is going to be our array. I'm going to put my comma, I'm going to put my match, and then lookup value. John will be the lookup value. I'm going to put my comma, and then my lookup array. So this person will be the lookup array. I'm going to put my comma, then exact match. I want exact match. Close my bracket. Close my bracket. Now remember, I used if error the other time. Then you put your comma. It's now asking value if error. What will be my value if error? Put your quotation. Let's just put sold out here. Just put sold out. Close your quotation, close your bracket, and hit your enter. So let's try to get that guy if it's going to work. Dokon, let's say Dokon sold out. So I've used if error to correct this column. This allows me to see this particular value. Then I'm going to see sold out here. So eventually you're working on a particular data, particular material, and you notice that you're told to populate to return what is inside that table into another particular table, and inside that column you are seeing something like this. Then you are wondering that what's going on, because if you don't use if error here, what exactly is going to return is that it's going to return this thing back. And don't forget, is a test, is a text, is an interview test. And then what you are expected to use if error here, that okay, let's see whether this guy knows what he's doing. So when you see that kind of thing, just put your if error and then put your index match, your index, write out the function. When you put your index and then the syntax, when it is open, follow the words that Excel is bringing out, and then just do it that way. Automatically your if error is going to correct this, and then you can come to your cost, use the formula for your cost, use your formula for your cost, the function for your cost as well. Remember how we did this one, return the cost as well. You will also get this particular cell. All right, good. Now let's move to, oh, I've used 105 minutes. Now let's move to, is it 105? 65 minutes, sorry. Now let's move to pivot table. So I will go back to my material here, and we're going to come to pivot table. Now, this one I won't rush. This one I won't rush. This one I won't rush. Now let's start from here. What is a pivot table? Well, pivot table can be used to carry out analysis on data. I will say it again. Pivot table can be used to carry out analysis on data. Now, take for instance, look at this particular table. Remember I taught you how to check the rows. Remember I taught you. Now we have like, I think we have 909 rows. And we have how many headers? We have 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 8 columns. We have 8 columns here. Now, let's see something here. Let's see something here. Now, look at this particular table. I want to make use of pivot table to, okay, let me put it this way. Now, let's say I want to convert this large table into pivot. Remember I said pivot table can be used to carry out analysis. Let's say I want to reuse pivot table to return this. I want to break this big table. I want to break it down using pivot table. How will I go about that? The first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to select this particular row. Then I'm going to say insert. Then this is a pivot table. Then this is a pivot table. Now it's asking us use an external data source. We are not using external data source this time. We are not using external data source. Now, if you want to use external data source, that means that we are not going to make use of this particular table. We are going to we are going to go into another sheet where we have another table, and we are going to pick that table from there. So because we are not using you are not using external data source, we are using this is the table we are using, so we don't need this. Now it's asking us new worksheet. Yes, if it is an existing worksheet, it means that our table, our pivot table will come we are going to see our pivot table in this particular spreadsheet. Now, he's saying that's the meaning of existing worksheet. So if you want to pick existing worksheet, this particular portion will be active. Then you will use your arrow to select where you want the pivot table to start from. But we are not using also existing worksheet. Rather, we want to make use of new worksheet. Now it's asking add this data to the data model. Now we are not making use of data model. We are not making use of data model. Though data model is a way data is organized, documented, and defined within a database. Data model is a way data is organized, documented, and defined within the database. So we are not making use of data model. When we are talking about data model, then we'll be talking about Power Query, we'll be talking about Power Pivots. But since we don't have that on this material, besides it's not inside this curriculum, so we are not making use of data model. Rather, I will just press OK. So now that I've pressed my OK, now look at something here. See something, see something. Now, if you look at my table, if you look at this table that we picked, this particular pivot table, this particular table, when I selected, when I selected a particular cell, I put my insert, then it brought this, it brought us here. So this is home of pivot table. In other words, we are now on pivot table interface. When I mean interface, I'm just referring to this. It brought us here, and we can see the tools on the Excel interface. So now let me quickly say this. Now, if you look at here, if I put this particular cell, if I click outside, you will see that you will not see anything here. You will not see this particular table again. But if I select the inside, it will come again. That's how it works. The next thing I want us to see here is this. Now, if you look at that, our table, all the headers, these are the headers: salesperson, product, region, customer, date, item price, number of items, then revenue. Now, if you look at here, it means that you can turn your table this way. You can turn the table field like this. You can select it this way. No, sorry, you can select it this way. Can you see? You can also select it like this. You can also select it this way. How are you not popping out? Yes, you can also select it this way. Also, you can select it this way as well. I think this was the first one we selected. So it means that here, you can make use of any pivot table field, anyone you want, anyone you desire. You can just select them and pick them. But for me, I love to use this field section and area section side by side. I love to use this particular portion. So this is it now. And again, if you look at this, remember sorting and filtering. This place is for filtering. And here you can say you want to make your table to be to arrange in columns. And then if you want your table to be in rows, you can also use it here. And then this one is for values. Now, if you look at this column and rows, you are not permitted. Okay, for instance, this column and rows, what you can actually put here, what you can put here is text. What you can put here is text. That is like salesperson products. They are not figures. And also here, you can also here is for values. Like, and if you look at our header, we have revenue, we have number of items, we have item price. We can also drag them here. So I said here relationship. I said you can link this one to Power Pivot. When you talk about relationship, then you will always see something like that in Power BI, something like that in Power Pivot. Also, now this is a pivot chart, and this is our recommended pivot table. This is a field list. When you talk about the field list, this is our field list. This is our field list. And then we have the buttons. We also have the field headers. Okay, now let's try to do something here. Now, let me create my first pivot table. How do I go about that? Let's say I want to know the salesperson by revenue. That is the salesperson and the revenue that the person made. How do I go about that? I will just click here, the salesperson. I will check this salesperson, and then I will also check my revenue. Can you see? Automatically, my salesperson, you see that it's automatically my salesperson was found there, and then the revenue. At times, you can drag your salesperson here. You can also drag it here. You can also drag salesperson to column, depending on, like, if I drag it like this, it will change. Look at it this way, but I don't like it's not organized. So therefore, I don't want it like that. So I'll drag it back to my rows. And then now, the next thing is that, let's say I want to put my dollar sign here. I can come down here, come to my home, and then put my dollar sign, reduce the decimal, now put my dollar sign. Now, if you look at this particular pivot table, I can also design this table. How do we design? You come to your, after selecting your pivot table, you come to your design, then let's select a beautiful color here. I think I love this. So now I selected I first selected my pivot table, then I designed it. I gave it a new table. Now, the next thing is this. Let's say that I want to, okay, now, before I even say that, look at this particular table. Now, we're already doing analysis. As a data analyst, you will always do visualization, then you write reports. So now we are already carrying out analysis on a particular data now. So we are doing analysis proper as a data analyst. We are doing analysis and want to bring insights from this data, this analysis. We are doing analysis and we are making use of our pivot table. We are doing analysis and we are making use of our pivot table. Now, this is my first pivot table. Now, look at this particular table. Now, if you look at this table, if you want to see the highest revenue yet, this guy, Von Halon, he was the one with the highest revenue, followed by Huawei Robots, 344,000, followed by Normal 222,310. So that means that maybe your boss actually who scored the highest revenue, then you can say, okay, highest revenue. Okay. Based on the pivot table and based on the data, the person with highest revenue was from the data you gave to me. The person with highest revenue here was Von Allen, 362,437. Good. Now, let me quickly explain something again. Now, if you look at this particular stuff, there is no magic here. Now, if you look at this thing, you can look at this revenue now. If you look at this revenue, it is very difficult for you to know the total revenue of this guy, this numerator. It's very difficult because if you look at the rows, if you look at this table very well, you see a numerator. If you check the table well, the guy might even appeared more than 10 times, 20 times. Are you getting me now? So that means you cannot just say, I want to get the revenue of Nomarita just like that. No. That means if you get the revenue of Nomarita, you'll be looking at it one after the other. Nomarita, you'll be counting. One, you go again. Nomarita, 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 two. You'll be looking for Nomarita, Nomarita, Nomarita. Let's not say that you have like 5,000 rows and you want to get the total revenue of Nomarita, and your boss is asking that, please give me the revenue of Nomarita. I want the revenue of Nomarita, all the total revenue of Nomarita. Please give me the total revenue of Nomarita. And don't forget, this is your table, right? Now you can't just say that you want to be coming down and be saying, I'm looking for Nomarita 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will take your time. Are you getting? So that means that the only thing that can help you is pivot table. So via pivot table, I can carry out my analysis. I can get the total revenue of Nomarita. So pivot table, it will calculate all the revenue. It will calculate all the total revenue of what is inside that row. And then pivot table will give you the grand total of that revenue. And then when you now want to, after giving you the grand total of that revenue, and the second thing to now do is that you will now break that revenue. Are you getting me now? That is pivot table. For example, if you look at this column B product, it has Nutrimake, 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 Nutrimake. What pivot table? I want to know product by revenue. You give yourself a day. Because I want to be looking for Nutrimake, Nutrimake, the revenue of Nutrimake. You will give yourself a day. Pivot table, what you just is that pivot table will just pick just only Nutrimake, and then it will give you the revenue of that Nutrimake. It will take the other products, it will give you the revenue of that product. So let's say we have inside this product, this 909 products, this 909 column, this 909 column that has products. Let's say Nutrimake appear 100 times, you will only pick one. Let's say make tea appear 1,000 times, you only pick one, and it will give you the revenue. That's pivot table. It will organize them in a confined manner, whereby in a concise manner, whereby you'll be able to have insight to it than the raw table here. With the raw table here, you will have problem, and you might be having error if you want to be counting it one after the other. But with pivot table, it is easier. Now I can get, look at now. This is all the grand total of all the revenue on that table is 2,831,066. Now see what it now did now. In breaking down, we can now see that okay, from inside this 2 million, in breaking it down, we can now see that Nomarita that I'm looking for, all the total revenue of Nomarita was 222,285. What you cannot see here. Now pivot table will organize it, and you'll be able to see it via pivot table. That's that. So now with this particular table, now I have insight now to this table. Now I know the highest person with the revenue. I also know the second person. I also know the third person, the fourth, the fifth, like that, like that, like that. Now, good. Now, let's say I want to, then you can just come down here. You can just change it. Just put your sales. Can just put your salesperson here. Are you there? Now, good. Now, let's say that I also want to have product by revenue. How will I go about that? I will just copy this table. I will use my Control C to copy. I will come down here. I will paste. After pasting, I will just hit this twice. I will put my products, hit my enter. Are you there? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to come down here, then I'm going to uncheck my salesperson, and I'm going to check in my products. You see now I can see that drinking water, I can see that the highest revenue on products is was made on this particular product, fruit juice. So you can be asked, please, on the product, can you please show us where the company made the highest revenue? Then you just come to products by sum of revenue, and then after doing it this way, then you will come up with, okay, fruit juice were the one that fruit juice were the highest here. They made 1,343,106 revenue. So that means on products, the company realized this particular amount. That's the highest. That's profit, right? Their if they remove their expenses and everything, they will still make a whole lot of profit. And if you look at here, you will see that the least one here is this milk tea. People do not really buy milk tea. So that means the data analyst asks you, please, data analyst, we notice that after carrying out the analysis on the data, they're pivot table. We notice that milk tea, we had the lowest sale, lowest revenue. What do you think we can do as a data analyst? Then I can now talk. Okay, I think on milk tea, maybe what we can do is that the region where we are selling the milk tea, probably people that are in that region, maybe they don't like taking milk tea. Maybe we have a competitor, or maybe we can do it this way. Maybe the company can reduce the price of milk tea, or you are just giving them different insights. Or we can also do it this way. Since we are not making a lot of revenue here, what we can also do is that probably we can start to produce sachet milk tea that people can afford. Maybe it's too expensive, we can make a sachet milk tea. We can make small sachets that we can sell for 50 naira, 100 naira. I think let's try this. I think if we try this and let's see what will happen after doing it. Are you getting me now? So you will give them the recommendation, and then what will the company do? The company will try it. Okay, let's try to produce sachet milk tea and see the patronage for that month. How would they know the patronage? There will be someone that will be getting the data now. So after collecting the data entry will organize the data, they will send it to your own department as a data analyst. Then you carry out the analysis again. And after carrying out the analysis and realize that wow, the revenue has jumped up. Wow. Okay. You just told them, sir, I noticed that so months we made this revenue. This time, after initiating the recommendation I gave to the company, I realized that we made like times 2 of the revenue that was realized last month. Wow, good. Have you seen that now? So it means that as a data analyst, the company will be depending on your analysis. So that means that means you will not fumble. It means that they will depend on what you analyze. They will depend on your analysis. So it is from your analysis they will make an informed decisions. So imagine you did a wrong thing, you gave them a wrong recommendation, or you did not even carry out the analysis well. You just did it casually. Now, what do you think the result is going to be? That's going to be an error. They will fire you because why? You have caused jeopardy. You have already caused problem to the company. Except there is a senior analyst. Maybe after carrying out your own analysis, and then the senior analyst they will send it forward to the senior analyst, and then the senior analyst will check it again and look at it well. That is if they have a senior analyst. Are you getting me now? So good. So now we have been able to have insight to this data. Now, if you're told to write a report on this data, very simple. You can write a report. What is a report? Report simply means what is on the data. Then you start writing based on the report. Von Hanod. Then you continue. The highest is this, and the second person is this. The third person is this. The fourth person is this, and the least revenue is this. That's the report. Then you come to your product. You write a report on the product. On the product, the revenue actualized on the product was 1,243,000, and it was fruit juice, followed by this, and the one that has the lowest performance was this. That's a report. That's a data analyst. That's how to write a report. Okay, now let's look at another thing again. Now, look at, okay, now there's something I want us to look at again. There's something I want us to look at again. There's something I want to look at again. I'm going to delete this particular table. Okay, before, let me delete. Let's move. Let's move. Let's move. Let's move. I want us to finish Excel this week. Let's move. Now, you know, I told you that this space is for filtering. Filtering. Now, I want to filter this. How can I filter this? Now, we are filtering this thing in such a way that we want to know we want to know the region where they realize this particular revenue. Then I will drag my region. This time I'm going to drag my region here. And then after dragging it, something pop up here. I'm going to click here. Let's say that I want to check for Northeast. I will click Northeast and I will hit my OK. Now look at it now. In Northeast, you will see that it has filtered it down. We don't have some people here, we don't have some salesperson here. What does it mean? It means that in Northeast, there is no transaction, there is no activities here. That is, those guys did not have activities in Northeast, except these 4 guys. And if you look at these 4 guys, you see that Voalon was the highest here in Northeast, followed by this person, Susan, this person, and followed by Arnold Cole. So maybe you were told that, okay, Mr. Michael, in Northeast region, we have 4 salesperson. We have Arnold Cole, we have Livingston, and we have 4 salesperson in the Northeast. Please, can you please let us know? Can you please give us the revenue actualized in the Northeast? Okay, in Northeast, what will I do? Salesperson, then I will come to my region. I will drag it to my pivot table field list. Then I will come to my Northeast. I will select my Northeast, and I'll be able to have insight. Then I'll be able to tell my boss, okay, sir, Northeast, we have Anoho, we have Livingstone, and we have this. And okay. And they can ask you again, and what was the grand total? Okay, the grand total was 951,068. 961,058. Okay. All right, I think I have insight now. Okay, I will try to. Okay, you know what? The expenses, remove the expenses from here, and let's see whether we'll make profit here, like that. Now, let's say I want to remove the filtering. I will just come down here again. I will just say all. Let's say okay. It will show everything again. Now, let's say again, I want to see from Southwest. Press OK, and it will show me. Now you will see that in Southwest, this is our salesperson in Southwest. You will remember Von Hallon that had the highest. Yeah, the Von Hallon is not in Southwest here. That means that Von Hallon did not sell anything in Southwest here. Now we see Kelly Islater, we see Leon Melly, Lucas John, Owen Robots. Now Owen Robots here in Southwest, he had the highest revenue, followed by Lucas John, followed by Leon Emily, Lucas John, Owen Robots, followed by Kelly Heislater, followed by Leon Melly, and followed by Lucas John. And followed by Lucas John, and the least person here was Leon Emily. So here, we can also see that I can check for Southwest, right? Good. I can check for Northwest. Anyone I want to check for, I can. Then I can write my report on them based on the instruction. Now, let me go back here and it's okay. Now, the next thing I want us to do here is this. I'm going to return back my region here. And then there's something I want us to see again. Now I want to copy this data, Control P, Control C. Then I want to paste it here, Control P. I will also copy this thing again. There is something I want us to do. I'm going to paste it here. Now, I'm going to copy this data again. Now, if I copy this data and I paste it here, something will happen. This particular field will cover my pivot table, and I don't want it to cover my pivot table. I want you to be seeing what I'm doing. So I will just quickly say something, then I will move on. This is what I want to say. Now, we want to look at a particular aspect of pivot table. Let's say we want to further our analysis. We want to know the number of times that anode coal appeared. We want to know the average revenue of each. We want to know the average revenue of all these. We want to know the maximum. We want to know the minimum. We want to rank. We also want to rank. So that's further analysis. Further analysis. Now, how do we go about that? Now, I don't want this thing to show, but there is two routes we want to follow. The first route is this. We can, let's say this is the one we want to deal with, the revenue. Then I will come down here. I will just hit here. I will come to my value fee setting. If I click my value fee setting, it will bring me here. But because I don't want this, but because I want to put another table here, I won't follow this route. So I'm going to cancel it. And then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this thing again. I'm going to use my Control C, and then I'm going to paste it here. Control V. And then the next thing is I'm going to off this. Now, since I've off this thing now, you will see that if I click here, it will not show again. It will not show again. It won't show again. And then I will just hit my enter here. If I want to bring it back, I will just come to my pivot table, analyze. I will come to my field list. I will click it. It will come out again, but I don't want it. So I'll come back here. And then I will just, the second method we are going to use is this. I will right click. It's asking me summarize value as this is what I'm talking about. Sum. Now, let me show you the aspect ahead. It has popped out again. Now, let's see it this way. Now, let's say I want to count the number of times that anode coal appeared on the table. Anode coal appeared on the table. How do I go about that? I will just come to my count. After selecting the value, I will just come to my count. I will click my count. I will just say, okay. Can you see? This guy appeared on my table, on this table. On this table, this anode coal appeared 71 times. Now, imagine. Now, why are we saying this dollar? Because, you know, it was revenue now. We used revenue, and then I put a dollar sign. So I can quickly remove it. In order not to confuse you, I can quickly remove it. Just come to my O, come to my general. Now, I've removed it now. Now, this guy appeared 71 times. 71 times. Now, if you look at this pivot table, how do you want to count the number of times that guy appeared? Tell me how? It's not possible. You can't. But here my pivot table, just using a particular function, can't. Now, I've been able to see that this guy appeared 71 times. So these are the things that, these are the little things they used to ask in interview. These are the little things. They want to know whether you know what you are doing. You know, some people will just come here and they will say, anode coal. They will be counting one, and they will not even, the interviewer will not even thought, they will just be, you know, they will have given you time. They will say their time. You just be counting anode coal. You'll be counting one after the other. But it won't work that way. It will take your time. Now, anode coal appeared that many times? 71 times. This guy 59, this guy 100, this guy 78, this guy 65, this guy 55, this guy 52, this guy 84, like that. So we can use summarize by value to know the number of time that each person appeared. For you to know that we are dealing with row, remember our table, remember the rows 909. So can you see now? So these are the things you should learn in pivot table. These are the things you should learn in pivot table. That's analysis. You can be asked or told to carry out how many times did anode coal appeared on the row, on the table row. How will you be able to do that? Just come and use this and you will pick your answer. Let's use another function here. We are using that particular stuff. Summarize value, we are seeing here. Now, let's come to more option again. Let's say we want to know the average of everybody. Just say, okay, what is our average? This is the average, 3,115, the grand total of all the average. But for each person, anode code 2,947, 3,447, total, grand total 3,115, average revenue. So maybe you are told to derive the average revenue from that pivot table. That's how you go about it. You just come to average and then you on that. Don't forget, not all the table, particular pivot table. That's how you generate your average revenue. Now let's come down here again. So far so good. We've generated the number of rows each salesperson appeared, and also we were able also to generate each person's revenue, and total average was 3,115 US dollar. Now, if you come down here, you click here, you come to summarize value hash, you click again, more function, and then maximum. We can also know the maximum. I click here, say okay. What is the maximum? Maximum revenue 15,999. 15,999. Now, let's see another thing here. Let's see another thing here. There's something I want us to see again. Okay, now I want us to look at another part of another part of this analysis. Let's look at another part of this analysis, and this is what we're going to do. I want us to look at the other part. Let's say you want to get your percentage, grand total. Maybe you're told to find the percentage grand total. You're told to find the rank. How are we going to go about that one? It's very simple. So this is what we are going to do. I'm going to remove, I'm going to get rid of this, delete. And so I'm going to also, okay, let me leave this one. So let me just come back here and change it to change it back to sum. And then I want to change it back to sum as well. So now let's work on these two tables, these two pivot table. Now, I want to use show value as. Now let's say we want to get our percentage grand total. These are percentage grand total. Now we can get our percentage grand total. Can you see on the 100, on the 100, on the 100, on the 100? For how long? The highest guy is called. He was given 12.80% on the 100. Also, Owen Robot 12.16. So this is here we have this, like we are furthering our analysis to know the percentage grand total. Now let's see another thing we can also check again. You come to your show value as again. Let's say we want to look at the percentage parent total. Okay, still referring to the same thing, percentage column, percentage parent total. I think we are still saying the same thing. Okay, now let's look at another thing here. Let's look at another thing here. Now I'm going to change this particular. So now, before looking at another thing, so we can also look at percentage parent column total, percentage parent total. You also look at percentage different from. You can also check your running total in. You can also check that. So you can do that one on your own. Because of time, we'll not be able to look at those things, but you can just play around that on your own. Okay, now this is another thing we want us to look. I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to now. Now, this is another thing I want us to do here. I'm going to we want to check the rank. Let's say we want to rank these guys. That's another level of analysis. Let's say I want to rank these guys. Now, how do I go about their ranking? So I'm going to leave this table, but I'm going to use this table for my ranking. I'm going to use this table for my ranking. So let's see how we can go about that. Now I'm going to select this, click here again, right click, come to show value as, then come to my, let's rank from largest. Let's say from largest. Yes. Okay, rank from largest. Now I've ranked this my particular table, and you will see that, and if you look at, I rank it from the largest, and if you look at here, Von Hallon made 362. He was number 1 here. Owen Roberts, number 2. Numerator, number 6. And if you check that guy, if you check numerator number 6, because of based on the revenue. Let's look at the number 12 here. Marcus Scout. If you look at number 12 here, Marcus, let's trace into this place. You see that it was one that had the least revenue. So this is our ranking. So let's say that I want to rank by, by smallest. I can also right click again and then come to my show value, rank from smallest. Yes. Can you see? Rank from smallest. So the least person was this guy, and the highest person here was Von Hallon. So that's how you can rank your table, your pivot table. So let's say you were told to do that, then if you were told to rank a particular pivot table based on their values, based on the revenue, that's what you are going to use to rank. Go time. Now let's look at here. Let's say I want to look at my top 10, or let's say top 5. How do I go about top 5? Let's say you want to look at the top 5 salesperson here. That is, maybe you were told that don't show me all the salesperson that is inside the pivot table. Just show me the first 5, the top 5. To get the top 5, I will just come down here. So I will just come to my value filter. I'll come to my top 10. I will just come down here. I will just reduce top 5 salesperson by revenue. Okay, can you see now? This is my top 5. Von Hallon, Owen Roberts, are you there? Now, if I want to also select it from A to Z, Z to A, that is filtering, I can also do it that way as well. If I want to filter, I can also do it that way. So here I can, let's say you are told to present it in a pivot chart, and then we are going to go into our pivot chart and pivot the top 5. So the title will just be top 5 salesperson. Let's say you were told to prevent this thing also in chart. That will be salesperson by revenue, salesperson by ranking. So just put your title there, salesperson by ranking. So now there's another thing I want to show you. Let me quickly remove this. Let me quickly clear this, and let me quickly show you. Now, if you look at this value filter simply means that if you want to filter your data using signs does not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, between, not between, you can also make use of this sign. Are you getting me now? So you can also make use of this sign to filter this particular table. Do you understand? So because of time, we will not go there because of time. Now, the next thing I want us to look at is this. There is one more thing I want us to look at today. Now, if you look at this particular pivot table, let's go back to the interface. Now, there is something I want to show you here, and that's where we are going to end it today. Now, if you look at here, there is something called fields, items, and sets. Now, field, items, and sets. This particular tool I think people don't used to talk about it. Only few people. Only few. Maybe some people are thinking that you don't really need it in pivot. You don't really need it. Whether you need it, whether you don't need it, at least know it. Do you understand? At least know it. Do you get? At least know it. Now, let's look at fields, items, but we'll not look at sets. The reason being that set, when we talk about set, then we are going to talk about data model. And if we are not doing data model, we are not going to talk about sets. We're going to talk about fields. We're going to look at items. But the set, you might not really, you might leave it. Although if you know it is good, but you might leave it like that. But if you still want to learn it, you can learn it. Do you understand? Although I don't used to see it well, I don't used to see it, but if you want to learn it, you can learn it. But we are going to learn, but today we learn fields and items. Fields and items. Now, let's look at it this way. Let's look at item first. Now, we are not going to use this particular pivot table for our items because you cannot, not every pivot table you can use items for. It depends on the structure of the data you are working on. So on this data, we cannot use items. So I'm not going to use this data. This one, I'm going to delete this particular pivot table because I'm still coming to come and do something on this pivot table. So now let me quickly, is this data I want us to use? Okay, now let's quickly use this particular data. Now, firstly, I will turn it to pivot table. Insert pivot table. Okay. Now, I just have two column, very small data. So I'm going to bring out my products and I'm going to bring out my amounts. Now, this is what I want to do. Let me quickly put it into any format the currency. Okay. Now look at this amount. The grand total here we have is 5,500 US dollar. Now we want to make use of that particular tool in Excel. This particular field items. So now we want to make use of calculated items. Calculated items. Oh, before I do that, I didn't name my header. Is product anyway, but don't worry, because of time, just permit me to just leave it as row label. I ought to name it, but just permit me that way. Now I'll come to my calculated items. Now, what is the meaning of calculated items? Now, this is the meaning. Now, let's say that you have a particular pivot table, and this pivot table, it has like 50 rows. You can imagine a pivot table with 50 rows. You can imagine how it will take all the space of your spreadsheet. Now, let's not say that you want to use calculated item to group these products, this particular product on your pivot table, such that you group each. Maybe you pick 5 particular products and you will give them, you pick another particular product, you will give them a name. You group them, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, knowing they are giving them each name, that this group 1 name, group 2 name, group 3 name. Now, when you do it that way, when you successfully do it that way, do you know what you have just done? You will eventually reduce that particular rows that is 50. It will just reduce to like maybe 4, 5, 6, because you have already grouped your content, your data, your products. That's the meaning of these particular items. Now, we want to group our items. So that means if I will group my items, we will not have 12 rows any longer. How do I go about that? The first I'm going to do is I'm going to name. I'm going to say automobile. So I can just say equals to, then I will come to my items. I will come to my, I said automobile will be the name of the group. That's my group one. I will just click my car. Then I will say insert item. I'll put plus. Then I will pick lorry. Then I want to also add, I will also add, let me just add. mm, Let me just add table to it. I will insert my table as well. Oh, mistake. I'll put plus. Then I'll pick my table. Insert my table. Then I will hit my, okay. My automobile is already here. Now, I will go back to it again. Calculated items. Then the next one I'm going to do, I'm just going to, let me just give it any name. I'll just give it, let me just say products. Let me just give it products. And then this is what I'm going to do. Equals to, I'm going to pick my, this time I'm going to pick cotton plus, I'm also going to put frame plus, I'm going to pick, I'm going to, let me see another one to pick again. I'm going to pick house, insert, what again? Sorry, house is not a product, but just for the sake of this class, just allow me to use house, just for you to just understand what we are doing. So I will just pick house and then I will just hit okay. Two now. Then the last one, I'm going to come down again, calculated items, and then I'm going to just name this one material. Materials. And then I'm going to pick eraser, to insert, into plus. I'm going to pick pen, I'm going to plus, and then I'm going to pick shoe. Sorry, please. Have I picked shoe?
You haven't.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to pick shoe. I'm going to insert. Think of pick the others. Then I'm going to say, okay. Now, let's see now. I have like three things now. Then I will come down here. I will just uncheck and then I will check in my stuff. This, this. Now we hit my okay. Can you see now? So from 12 rows, it has reduced to what? To three groups, three rows. Automobile, products, and materials. Don't forget that it's not that we are adding tests together. That's an error. You can't add tests together. What you are doing is that you are automatically adding those figures together. But you might not know, you might think that you are adding each test together. Each test that is it, why will I be adding car plus lorry plus this plus that? That is not possible in mathematics. Yeah, it's not possible. You can't add it. But what you are doing is this: you are automatically adding those figures together. Do you understand? So that is how to make use of this particular tool called items. So That's that. But don't forget what I said. I said you cannot just use it on any kind of pivot table. It depends on the structure of your data. It depends on the structure of your data. So lastly, let's go back to our material again, and let's come back again. Now, the last one we are going to look at now is this, and that will be the last teaching for today. Then tomorrow we are going to start data visualization. Now, this is what we are looking at now. We are looking at the fields. 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 What is fields? Good. Let me explain field this way before I even use the function. I'll select my figure. Then let me come back again. Now, fields. You see that immediately I selected this particular column. What happened? This one disappeared. Is no longer active. Then this one is now active. So I will click my calculated field. Now, how do we make use of calculated field? This is it. Now, let's say that you are a data analyst and you are analyzing for a particular organization or a company, and you were told that, data analyst, please, the salesperson, the salesperson, among all the salesperson, please, I want you to give any salesperson that came up with a revenue that is not below 200,000, give them this particular bonus. Are you hearing what I'm trying to say? Or it's like saying that any revenue that is above 200,000, give that revenue, give any revenue that is above 200,000, give that person 10% of that revenue. 10%, 10%, 10%, based on the revenue actualized or realized by the salesperson. Give that person 10%. Are you getting me now? So he now said the next thing is this. Now your boss now tells you that I want you to do it in such a way that I will be able to see it. That is, I want to see I want to see the way you are going to do it. That is, when you have done it, send the data to me so that I can see how you have carried that. I want to know whether you give each person their rebate or not. So that means your boss is expecting you to write a particular logical statement inside this pivot table. Logical statement inside pivot table. Don't you think that it looks somehow? How will you tell me to write a logical statement inside this pivot table? Why can't you just tell me to go into my data, that our real data now, and then go to revenue portion, revenue column, and then write the logical statement? Why can't you allow me to do it that way? Why this route? Well, if you go to your table and do that, you might not really see the result as you ought. Now, the instruction is that write logical statement inside pivot table. Write logical statement inside pivot table. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. I've not done it. I've not seen it before, but through learning, I got to know that. So we can also write logical statement inside pivot table through learning. So let's see how we can go about it. The first thing we are going to do is that we are going to give it a title here. We are going to say, let's say salesperson. Let's say salesperson. Salesperson by rebates, or should we say bonus or rebate? Let's say bonus. Salesperson by bonus. That's the first thing we are going to do. And then the next thing we are going to do is this. We're going to write our logical statement. I'm going to write if, I'm going to open brackets. What are we writing? We want to write a logical statement. We want to return 10%. We want to give 10% to anyone that is above 100K. So this is how we are going to do it. If revenue, I'll come down, I will select my revenue, insert field. If revenue is greater than or equals to, let's say, 200,000. 200,000 is 20,000, then 200,000, comma. What is the next thing to do? Well, return this. That will be our value to write, and then value false. So you will see that if you have already gained mastery of logical statements, you wouldn't need to cram anything. You already know that, okay, after writing logical statement, what follows? The value if true, the value if false. That means you gain mastery. You know, at times you'll be cramming. What was it? I don't even know. Is it value to Gunlaman call? Is it value to how into a value if false? So now, what's the next thing? 10%. You want to give 10%. I'm going to put my percent. Give 10% of what? Of revenue. Insert field. Right? That's my value if true. I'm going to put my comma here again. Then value if false. What is the next thing? Value if false. What should we give them? Then don't give them anything. You know, if I use, you know, in Excel, if you want to say empty, that is nothing, you know, you use two quotation and then you use another quotation, you close your bracket on a normal scenario. But now in this case, if I go with this, you know what is going to happen? It's going to give me value. It will, okay, let me do it and see what we are going to get. I'm done with my logical statement now. And I'm going to hit my okay. Can you see? Now, Arnold, this guy, based on the revenue actualized, this guy is above 200K. He got 10%. Bry Hassa, above 200K. He got 10% of his revenue. That will be his take home. Christian Jilly, same thing. Now, if you look at this guy, this row 9, see what he got. This guy got 182,000. That means this guy is not qualified to get anything. Excel return back value. And here, Excel also return back value. Is Excel wrong? No. Why? Because nothing is here. Excel is correct. Nothing is here. Now, as a data analyst, I am not comfortable with this. I'm not comfortable with this. And I cannot just come down here and say, I want to write if error. This is pivot table. In fact, in pivot table itself, you cannot even delete. You can't delete. It will not allow you. It will not allow. Once you have done it, that's Excel will delete the sheet. Now, I cannot come down and say, I want to write is equal to if error. It is okay. Let me try it. Let me try. Now, look at it now. Look at this. Now, I want to try to let you to see that, you know, when I put in my if error, see what popped out. Sum of revenue, $8, dollar sign. You know, doing it this way, you will give yourself a dick. Now, the reason why I said let me try it, I said it because when I put equal to if error, I thought it will allow us to write our value. Now it brought get pivot. I knew it won't happen, but I tried it because I've already worked on the data already. When I tried to use another function and it popped out this. So when I use if error, I said let me try if error. If it won't pop out the same way it happened when I tried it. So now it popped out. it means it will not work. It means we cannot use this route. This is a pivot table. So what will I do? This is what I'm going to do. I don't want to see this value again. I'm going to rewrite my logical statements. How will I go about that? Now, I'm going to select again, and then I'll come to my pivot table, analyze field items. I will come to calculated field, and then I will say again, salesperson by rebate. Same thing, right? Then I will just put 2. Now, let me quickly, because of time is fast spent already. So let me quickly write it. Now, if, open my brackets, if revenue is greater than or equals to 200,000, comma, value if false, value if true, then give it 10% of revenue. Then value if false, comma, value if false. Now, value if false will be, this is what I'm going to do. I won't put that quotation. I will just put a space 1 for the quotation 1, space 2 for the quotation 2. Then I will close my brackets. Now let's try and let's see. And then I will just hit my OK. Can you see? Now, if you look at, after doing it again, now I get rid, instead of using if error, I went to reapply my formula. I was able to get rid of this particular error sign, even though not an error because they are not up to 200K. But because as a data analyst, I don't want to present this, I don't want to present it like this to my boss. So I did it again and I get rid of this. Now you can now see that here it makes sense here. It makes sense like this. It looks professional. Now look at it now. 20,000, same thing. And here when it got here, there's a return nothing. Here as well, nothing. Then other people got 10% of the revenue they actualize. So far, so good. That is how to make use of fields. That's how to make use of fields. And then we did items as well. So I can present it to my boss and they can see what I have just done. So I think I'm going to draw the curtain for today's class. So tomorrow we are going to continue from here. Tomorrow we are going to go into data visualization. Now, what we have just done today, we have used pivot table to carry out analysis on our data. So we can write reports via this pivot table. I've seen a work where the client said, I don't want pivot charts, just a pivot table. So you will write reports, you will just give her the pivot table, you will carry out the analysis via pivot table, and you will write your report. So we have carried out an analysis on a particular data, and we have entered different routes of pivot table to see how we can carry out analysis via pivot table. Don't forget, I have not used pivot chart for my visualization. This is just a pivot table for analysis. Are you hearing me now? This is just a pivot table for analysis, not pivot charts. So some people can say, I don't want charts. Just give me pivot table and write the reports. Then you give them like this, and they will give you instruction This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see. But tomorrow, we're already done with pivot table. At least what you should know on pivot table, we've already done it today. So you can carry out any analysis on any data via pivot table. Via pivot, any analysis via pivot table. So tomorrow, we are going to visualize this same data by the use of pivot table charts.